everyone. Happy Friday, happy April, happy new moon. It's a day of all kinds of things going on. Super exciting, very positive energy today. It's a gorgeous spring day. It's freezing, but the sun is shining and there are blue skies, so we are all good. Let me know if you are on. I'm just messing around with my phone a little bit because sometimes it doesn't show me when people have commented until after, which is kind of an issue when I'm doing a live. So I'm just pressing buttons. So don't worry while I'm just messing about with these. Oh no, that's effect. Oh no, go away. Hang on. I don't want that. There we go. That's to change the camera around. Nope, I don't want to share camera. I think it's... that's for me to write a comment. Let me just do a little tester just to see if I can see. Okay, so I can see that coming up. Cool. Okay, fabulous. So if anyone is jumping on today, if you're on your lunch break, then please do feel free to say hello. Hopefully I can see it, but who knows, I can always see them afterwards anyway, so if there's any questions or anything, I can catch up with you later. So today I wanted to talk about archetypes, and you've probably seen a few posts in the group, probably about the last month or so. I've kind of been talking about archetypes, and it's such a wonderful way of connecting to your psyche and your subconscious. So we all have them. Okay, archetypes are a thing. It is what is used in films and TV for creating characters, because an archetype is a personality formation of your psyche. Okay, it makes up your personality. It's influenced by genetics, other things as well, but it's really interesting. Carl Jung is the leading sort of psychologist on this if you are interested in having a little look. There are several archetypes, and depending on where you do your research, you will see different names for them. You will see different formations of them. I personally like to work with the goddess archetypes, of which there are generally 7 that I focus on. There are 13 that you can work with, but it's entirely up to you. It depends which ones you feel drawn to, but there's so many different archetypes that are, making up our psyche. There are also male equivalents to these as well. So there aren't just goddess archetypes, men have these as well. But they are really interesting. And today, without completely baffling you, I wanted to just talk about kind of 3 main areas that we can work with archetypes. So they do come across in our dreams as well. So whenever you have characters in your dreams, that's your archetypes coming through. Like I said before, it's what people use in film and TV and books to create characters. So you will naturally be working with them anyway. Okay. And it's like when, you have different elements of your personality come through, it's different elements of your psyche or an archetype. Okay. It's just a different label. So the ones that I focus on are the wise woman or the crone, okay, sometimes called the crone. That's actually part of that goddess symbol there that you may have seen as well. We have the huntress or the warrioress, which obviously I absolutely adore. No guesses why. We have the wild woman, we have the maiden, we have the queen, the mother and the lover. Okay, so they're the 7 that I tend to work with my clients. They're the ones that, people can generally relate to really easily. Okay, so I have got some little questions for you actually, just so you can have a little bit of a think as to whether any of these archetypes you're not fully connecting with or need a bit of your attention. Okay, so these prompts will have been on the posts as well, or if you receive my emails, then you will have had these on email. But I'm just going to pick a couple for each archetype just to introduce you to them, and just in case you've got any questions about them or you need any guidance on how to sort of work with these archetypes and heal them and get them sort of working to the best of their ability. Okay, because when all our archetypes are working in sync, we've got like the best mental health. Our psyche is working to its full capacity, full potential, and it leads to fulfillment. Okay, which is why we want to work with them all. So Let me know if any of these apply to you. So I'll just do a couple for each archetype. So do any of you feel uncomfortable in your own company or listening to your inner voice and wisdom, or don't actually think you have an inner voice or wisdom? Do you choose to isolate from others and don't really want to share your knowledge or journey? Maybe because people might not get it, might not understand. I've definitely been there. Do you sometimes feel that you're unable to make any changes in your life? Okay, so if any of those three kind of resonate with you, then your wise woman needs a bit of connection. Okay. Do you find it difficult to ask for help? Do you struggle to release control and need to plan everything? And do you sometimes feel in competition with other women? Okay, if any of those apply to you, your huntress is a bit out of balance, or your warrioress. Okay, definitely help you with that one. Do you feel like there is more to life than this? Do you have that little like inkling, that nudge that, you know, you're meant for something more? Are you quite drawn to magic and spirituality? And are you trying not to feel judgment from others? Okay, is that kind of a focus for you at the moment? So if any of those land for you, then your wild woman is trying to call you and trying to get into balance, get into sync. So use your wild woman more if those do apply. Next up, do you find yourself people pleasing? Do you feel like you're waiting for something or someone to save you? And do you allow other people to make decisions for you? If any of those apply, then your maiden needs a bit of support. Okay. Are you afraid of your own power and keep yourself small? So especially if you are a business owner, that might apply to you. Do you feel like you can't trust your own voice and intuition? So if you are someone who goes on prescriptive diets a lot, that might be speaking to you. Or do you feel lost without a king? Okay, do you feel lost if you don't have a partner? So those three are all signs that your queen is in need of a bit of attention. Okay, almost there, second to last. So do you feel that you neglect your own needs in place of caring or giving to others? Do you take on other people's problems as if they are your own? And do you have a pattern of believing you're not good enough and base your worth solely on what you do for others? Okay, if any of those speak to you, then your mother archetype needs some attention. And last but not least, do you feel disconnected from your sensuality and your own body? So again, if you are on prescriptive diets or needing to track, that could be one for you. Do you find yourself in constant drama-fueled relationships or flings that don't lead anywhere? And do you find that you don't really have much pleasure in your life? So that counts for inside and outside of the bedroom. Okay, so if any of those resonate, then your lover needs some TLC. Okay, so let me know if any of those do speak to you, and which ones. I find it fascinating. And this obviously changes as well, you know, as we go through life, as we go through different circumstances, different situations, these change because it is part of our emotions, it's part of our motivation, it's part of our personality makeup. Okay, so these will fluctuate and change as we do as humans. Okay, but if we speak a little bit about how they impact on your relationships and your business, this is one of the main reasons that people like to connect to their archetypes, is to either improve their relationships, whether that's romantic relationships or friendships, or to improve their business. Okay, especially if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, if you're working with like healing, with coaching, with spiritual development, then you will find that embodying these archetypes will actually help boost your business, and even, you know, help with like the branding and things like that. You know, I use the huntress and the warrioress massively to help me put my business together. And, you know, I had to utilize the queen to help me with pricing and actually stepping up and being seen, okay, which was something that used to absolutely terrify me. So we can tap into these energies to actually help, okay, to boost our business or our relationship. So, you know, if you are finding that you prefer your own company, you are someone who tends to isolate, or, you know, does go into that victim mode, that victim mentality, that's your wise woman that's calling out for some help there. But obviously that is going to impact on your relationships and your business as well. If you're keeping yourself hidden away, and not actually sharing that knowledge and wisdom that you have, that's going to be impacting on your business and relationships. If you find that you can't ask for help or support, or you can't ask for customers maybe, or if you're needing that constant control, you know, in business or in a relationship, you know, we can't have constant control, okay, because we can't control other people, okay? If we're struggling with competition, or if we're being very, very guarded, if we've got a guard around our heart, you know, that's going to make it a bit of a challenge to let people in, whether that's a partner or whether that's a client or a customer. Okay, so that's when your huntress or your warrioress needs to be worked on. Okay, if you are someone who's really seeking freedom and you don't necessarily like to conform, or you don't like to kind of follow society's expectations, so especially in a relationship, you know, you might find that that is creating a bit of a barrier for you in finding a relationship, because if it feels like it's going to take away your freedom, then, you know, you're going to put up a barrier to that. So that's your wild woman that we want to work with in that case. If you feel that you are quite naive or you struggle with decision making, you know, obviously that's going to play out in your business massively, but also that can be impacting on relationships and dating. Okay, if you're having issues in your dating life with people perhaps taking advantage of you, your maiden needs your support. Okay, the Queen, I absolutely love, and this is so important for both relationships and business. In fact, this was an email that I did send out to those of you that are on my email list, you know, because this is where, if we're not working with that Queen archetype, with that Queen energy, we can feel guilt, we can feel our fears, we can really struggle with boundaries, and they are all things that, you know, we need to be improving and working through for relationships and business. Okay, so your Queen is key, massively. They are also important, but the Queen especially in that scenario. If you're people pleasing, or if you can be a bit overbearing, you know, nobody wants that in a relationship or a business relationship, then your mother needs some attention there. And then of course the lover is going to play out when it comes to both of these things again. So it's quite obvious how your lover plays out in relationships. So whether that's playing out in your dating life, you know, if you're finding yourself repeating patterns, or you're perhaps sleeping with several people, or you're not necessarily respecting your own body, or if you're having no pleasure at all, if you're completely switched off, or you're really struggling with intimacy in your relationships, your lover wants you to work with her. Okay, but that also plays out in business. So quite often in business, you know, especially as an entrepreneur, we can go full throttle, we can really ramp things up, we can go major in with our Queen and our huntress energy, but we're actually not getting any pleasure from our business. So in that case, you know, you need to bring in that lover. So it's really all about balancing all of these archetypes, because they all have great aspects and great elements that can help us, especially in business and relationships, but they also all have a shadow side, okay, as we do. Okay, we all have a shadow, and it's working in balance with these energies. Okay, so they can have massive impacts. Like I say, you know, go through those questions and just see if any of those do sit right with you. Then it could be time to start looking into these archetypes and how they can actually really help you. So when it comes to manifesting with these archetypes, there are kind of 4 ways. I'll focus on 3 ways that we can work with the archetypes for manifesting. So first off, you know, we can utilize these archetypes to actually gain clarity of our goals. Okay, so once we actually know what it is we're working towards, we can then start to, you know, do the subconscious work around it, see if there's any blocks around that specific thing or that specific area. We can also then, you know, heal any sort of issues that we have around that area as well. But then we can also get specific in calling that in. Okay, so working with your archetypes helps you get goal clarity. Okay, another thing that you can do, which is pretty cool with the archetypes, so remembering that everyone has these archetypes. Okay, every character in TV is based on an archetype as well. So if you know what you want and you know someone else that has it, either real or fictional, embody that archetype. Okay, step in to that archetype of the person that has what you want. Okay, they're called an expander in the manifestation world, or a role model as well. Okay, so if you embody that energy, if you step into that same archetype as somebody who has your goal already, they've already achieved it, then you will naturally align, okay, through the universal law. So that's a really cool way that you can actually work with the archetypes for manifesting. Okay, and then lastly, utilizing that wise woman, and another universal law is to detach from the outcome. Okay, our wise woman, deep down, she knows everything's going to come through as and when it's supposed to. Okay, she will detach. She's wise beyond her years. She knows that her order is going to be fulfilled. Okay, so she can detach, which is awesome. And that works with that universal law of detachment, which is so important because we can often really focus on the law of attraction and just dwell on that. There's 12 laws, okay? We need to be working with them all. It's like focusing on one archetype and ignoring the rest of them, okay? We want to be in sync and balancing and working with all of them, okay? And then lastly, when it comes to magic and well-being, you know, you've probably already got a bit of an idea of, you know, how these archetypes link to magic and well-being. But if ever you are seeing synchronicities or you're getting little signs, okay, that is your archetypes playing out and showing you. Okay, they're showing you the magic. Also, if you work with your spirit guides, you know, that's connecting to your archetypes as well. If you do shadow work or work with the moon cycles, you are connecting to your archetypes. Any self-love practices, especially those that connect to your physical body, you know, that well-being, that self-care is linking to your archetypes. Also, if you are someone who practices with divination tools or activating your third eye chakra, is very much linking through to your archetypes. So you're naturally working with them, but you can consciously work with them as well. Okay, especially if you do want to have more magic and well-being in your life, and especially, you know, if you want to grow. Okay, if you want to develop yourself, we know that leads to fulfillment. Okay, that's what humans desire. But also if you want to have a sisterhood, okay, if you do feel called to have that circle of women, we usually get that call when an archetype is out of balance. Okay, when one of our goddesses isn't quite aligned with where we want to be, it can be more natural to push away. Okay, especially if you're someone who does see other women as competition, or you find it challenging to have friendships and relationships with other women, or, you know, there's a bit of a distrust there. This can actually heal it, okay? But we can feel that call to be part of a sisterhood and part of a community, okay? And when you get that call, go with it, okay? Because it's for a reason that you're being called to seek out your sisterhood. Of course, that's something amazing and beautiful that we have in my Soul Tribe Academy. That circle is just phenomenal. It's home, it's beautiful, and it's sacred. Okay, so find your circle. Okay, if you want to have a chat about the Soul Tribe Academy, of course, just let me know. Okay, but find that circle. If you get that calling, follow it. Okay, because it will lead you to somewhere wonderful, and there is nothing better, there's nothing more empowering than a circle of women who are striving for things that are, you know, they want to better themselves, they are striving for things that they desire and on their path to fulfillment. Okay, it's really, really powerful, and it brings all these archetypes together in a really scrumptious, lovely way. So I hope this helps. I'm always really conscious with things that are kind of new and a little bit out there, because if this is your first time hearing about archetypes, you might be like, Vix, what the fudge are you talking about? Like, I don't know what you mean. And that's okay. But I hope this has introduced them to you in a light touch way. Feel free to go back over the posts for each of the archetypes that I've posted over the last couple of weeks, or retrace your emails if you do get the emails from me, or give me a shout, okay, if you have got any queries about them. But hopefully those initial questions will help you identify if it's something that you would like to work on, okay? And if it is something that interests you, if you do like the idea of working with these archetypes and connecting to your different inner goddesses, I actually spoke to the girls in the Soul Tribe Academy earlier this week and said, like, do you fancy having like a goddess month in the academy? So we're working together all the way up until Halloween in our circle. People can join as and when you wish, but I think having a focused time around goddesses would be awesome. So it won't fit into a month. We have 6 calls a month, you know, we have a lot of time together. We have 12 hours together each and every month, but I have decided to go for 7 weeks. Okay, so 7 weeks of goddess magic. If you're already in the Soul Tribe Academy or you're thinking of jumping into the Soul Tribe Academy, it will be part of your academy journey anyway. But if you just feel called to solely focus on this goddess work and this goddess magic, then pop a comment on this video and I will send you the details just for those 7 weeks. Okay, if you just want to join us for 7 weeks of goddess magic, it will run from the 20th of June up until the 30th of July. Okay, and it will finish on the 30th of July with the Manifesting Magic VIP day. Okay, so that will bring everything together, but that is also a day. It's 6 hours. It's going to be intense, but that is going to be a day where I teach you everything that I know and that I work with when it comes to manifestation. Okay, so your 7 weeks will end with that VIP day, which will be gorgeous. But of course, if you want to be in the Soul Tribe all the way through from now until Halloween, also let me know, because you'll have that included for you anyway. So actually you save quite a bit of money because it will already be there for you. Okay, so I hope this has helped you. I hope that, you know, you can connect to your goddesses in different ways, or it gives you ideas of how to connect to them in different ways and how to utilize them as well. Or if they need healing, if they need your attention, there was a reason that you were supposed to watch this video. Okay, so do feel free to comment or pop me a message, whichever you prefer, and we can have a little chat and see how we can help those archetypes work for you rather than against you. Okay, and tonight, of course, is the new moon in Aries, which is super, super exciting. So hopefully you're all feeling a good energy at the moment. Hopefully you're all feeling excited. Anything that you've not worked on as of yet, you know, if you set intentions in January or at the spring equinox and you've not quite got around to getting things moving, now is your time for it. Okay, it's a really, really powerful time, and it's about having that courage to actually go for what it is that you want. Okay, use that Aries fire to actually go for it and grab it with both hands. Okay, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous energy. And of course, the start of a brand new month as well. So I hope you have a gorgeous time. If you're doing a ritual this evening, enjoy it. And yeah, I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.